Hello, hello. Kia ora. Happy Sunday. Holy moly. Wow. How are you? Wait for some people before I start rambling on and on and on. Have my very fluffy soy flat white. Early afternoon coffee. Oof. So yes, it is afternoon here. It's about 2 p.m. Wellington time here in New Zealand, and it's a beautiful Wellington day. It's raining and drizzling and then pouring and then dry and then windy and then dries everything and then the rain comes again and then it's super windy again. But it's hot. It's like 20 degrees. It's ridiculous. It's Wellington. Yesterday and the day before were absolutely gobsmack, stunning, sunny, summery, beautiful. I even have like sunburn. I got sunburn on Friday. So yeah, and now it's just this day of just doom and gloom and lovely. Joycey! Hi mama. Hola. How are you? Just saying, it's really crappy weather today, but I like to think of it, you know, after having a few days of absolutely stunning, amazing weather, you know, full on summer at the beach, you know, just, yeah, sunburn, all the things, and then you get a day like this, and it's just, it sort of reminds you that it's nice to sort of go within and be like, you know, cozy, you know, to remind yourself to just, you know, when you're outside and you're at the beach all day and you're doing this and you're doing that and you sort of have that time on days like this where you can just slow down and just remember where you are, who you are. Oh, it's kind of nice. Have a nice sleep in, just chill out. Yeah, I like these days, so I like Wellington, so it's just that craziness that happens. Yeah, so what are we talking about today? If anyone saw the post I did just shortly ago, just a little while ago, I think I'm gonna read this so you guys, if you did miss the post, I'll tell you the story about it, the background behind it. Yesterday evening, I was walking around town with a very good friend, and we went to this used bookshop here in Wellington, and it was like, oh, I love this bookshop, you know, used books to the hilt. I love it. Every time I go in there, I find something just out of this world, you know, that is just, it's amazing. And yesterday I found this book. Now, it is called Sane Occultism. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And Dion Fortune, she is a very old school witch that wrote heaps about all of the things in the occult and the Golden Dawn and on and on and on. So I saw this and I'm like, oh, I need this book. Dion Fortune deals with many of the pitfalls of occultism. And yeah, so it just goes through all of these possible dangers, you know, that people fall into. And I was just like, ooh, I like it. So I totally had to get it. So the quote that she put in the front of this book, so my friend and I were having this discussion about spirituality and what it means to be spiritual and how people get stuck in these conditioning ideas of what it means to be spiritual. And I started thinking back, like just a little while ago, I started thinking back to like my own spiritual progress in a way that goes from, you know, this point in my life to this point in my life, and how it changes and how often it changes. And it was just like, wow, it's actually quite profound. If you look at what you believed in or what you thought was true and possible at certain points in your life and how it has changed your outlook on your own life, it's a pretty big to do. So we were talking about all of this stuff, and And I was thinking about a post that I saw as well to say, you know, it's just in some Facebook group, you know, to say, would you die for what you believe in? And I know, you know, you've got lots of political issues around that question right now. And I said, you know, my beliefs change daily. Absolutely, they change all the time. And so I would not put my life on the line for what I believed in, because what I believe in is so fluid. The only thing I would die for are my children. You know, that's it. Friends, family, my, you know, maybe, I don't know. My kids, yes. My beliefs, absolutely not. I would not. So we were talking about all of this stuff and, you know, going through all of these processes and how you become spiritual and what it means to you and how that changes. And then, you know, a month later it might change. So when I got this book yesterday, it was just like one of those synchronistic events, and I posted the photo of the first page of this. So it says, in December 1942, Dion Fortune wrote, "There are things I wrote in Spiritualism," which is another book, 20 years ago, which, in the light of wider experience, I would not write today. And to cite these as evidence against me is to deny the possibility of human progress. Of course that's on the front page of the damn book. Like, seriously, you know, this is part of what I think a lot of people lose sight of, is they get so stuck and put into these boxes of their own conditioned spirituality. You know, this is what I learned as a child. This is what my parents believed. This is what I believe. This changes all the time. You have, if you're open to it, you see these things change constantly. So what is it you believe today that you didn't believe yesterday? What is it that you'll believe next month that you didn't believe last year? Always things are changing. And I think it's fair to say that some of us find it very easy to get stuck into a particular mold of what we believe our spirituality looks like. And a lot of people are very comfortable in that mold. But to grow and to progress, that's a big part of, I think, human evolution, in a way that we can understand it as something within us that changes, you know? All the posts on Facebook, all the political posts on Facebook, you know, we get new evidence. We change our opinion. That's fine. So, you know, same in spirituality, same with anything. We get new experiences. It changes our perception completely. Coffee. I need coffee. Anyway, so yeah, so that was quite a moment of like, what in the world is all of this? Oh my God, I guess this is what I have to talk about today. I love it that I always come into these things and not until, like, you know, 20 minutes before, not know what's gonna eventuate. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this book. It'll probably take me a year, because look how little it is. But look at this print. So I'll be really excited to read through this, but it'll take me a while because, you know, I'm dyslexic anyway, so it's gonna take me a year to read that book. That's why I love audiobooks so much. But back to the reason why we're here. How are you? It has been a good week. It has been a lovely week, and I hope you guys have had a lovely week, and I hope this week is going to be amazing for everybody. Everybody. John. Oh, Kyla too. Hi, Kyla. Hi, John. Vicky. Holy moly. How's it going, team? It's very exciting to see people here today. It's at a weird time today, and I apologize for the late notice on the time change, scheduling conflicts and such. So yeah, I gotta figure out a good time to be doing these. So we're gonna do just a few cards, as we always do. Now this week, so this is the week of the 17th, I believe. I think, the week of the 17th. I don't know what day it is half the day. It's like, I know it's Sunday. I don't know what day it is. It's still school holidays here, so I have no clue. Hi, Araha. Good to have you. So, cards for the week. Very exciting. So, yeah, I was listening to the news before, and it sounds like there's all sorts of good stuff going on in the world. Oh, we focus a lot on that. You know, focus a lot on there is a negative and positive side to people when they're in protest. When they're in protest and when they're feeling this like a propulsion to move forward. These are the words that come that I'm like, I don't know if that makes sense, but that propulsion, that system that pushes people forward, it's tangible in some of these instances where you can just feel society pushing you, you know, and you listen to these stories and it's intense. So I hope everyone in the world is well and is moving forward as they need to move forward. The 9 of Wands just popped up. This keeps coming up a lot. This is sort of, we've been through the battles. We have been through the fucking battles and we're all really tired of it. It all really sucks. There are still people trying to knock down the door while some of us are just trying to get on with life. What can we do to utilize this one? This is a tricky one. I always find wands really tricky because they deal with things that aren't tangible. You know, they're not an action, they're a feeling, they're an emotion, they're a thought. They're not an emotion, they're the thought processes. You know, as we're moving forward with different and new ideas, maybe to complement, as you know, what we're doing to grow spiritually, we're leaving a lot of these things behind and we're learning. You know, we grasp onto one thing and we start to learn it. And we want to discard all these old ideas that we felt and that we knew and that we understood as part of our cultural belonging and our cultural belief systems and what has scaffolded us as people into where we are today. And it's not that we need to discard those. We can use them differently. We can use those thoughts and those ideas as part of our system, you know, the Buddhist belief of, you know, everyone has this belief. I think most spiritual practices have this belief of going up to the mountain and climbing the mountain, and everyone has a different path up the mountain. And as we sort of move on, you know, we don't discard and we don't throw away the things that we've learned, you know. We might keep them for safekeeping. But we've been through the wars already, you know. I think the world is getting very fucking tired over what is going on with COVID and injustices around the planet and planetary crisis over and over and over again, and climate change and all of this. Yes, it's all there. And that's the sort of card that sort of makes me remember to not to focus on everything, right? Not to focus on every single issue, but to pick the one that we have the strongest pull to. We can always forge through everything when we are focused. If we have our one staff, our one intention that we use, we're able to focus through a bit more. I just keep getting, okay, so now I'm getting numbers. So if you guys haven't worked with me before, I'll sort of go where I need to go and like messages just come through. My nose is very sunburned. My face is very sunburned. So I get messages as I'm working. And so it's 1732. I don't know what 1732 is. If anyone can use those numbers, 1732 is what keeps coming through. But the number 17 has been coming through for a number of years now. 1732. I don't know. if it's your lotto numbers, then definitely use them. I know my mom, you always have your specific numbers that you use in your lotto numbers. So I don't know, maybe it could have been something different. Anyway, let's get some more cards out. So if we put aside all of our ideas and focus on our one true value, this moves us forward. So we've got the Chariot. This came up for me this morning, actually, in another deck altogether. The Chariot. The description of this card, according to the other deck, was it's about aligning your two halves. If you look at your, this goes back to duality. A lot of humans recognize duality as, male and female, as positive and as negative, as north and south, the two polarities in the planet. We need to align the two of them to make sure that we're moving forward. Not 1732. I didn't think that was your lotto number, but thanks. So the Chariot is about making sure that you have your two sphinxes in alignment, because if one is stronger than the other, you're gonna go off track. But it is about, I think my camera just died. Hi. Okay, how do I do this? Oh my gosh, this is lovely. So my little tripod battery just died, so we're gonna do this. This has been a great morning so far. Right. Okay, how's that? That works. So, the Chariot, moving forward. Moving forward. Lita! It just went off track. It totally went off track. Everything just went. So, our next one. These cards keep coming up for multiple people. And multiple decks. I use different decks for multiple people. He keeps coming up, doesn't he? I think he came up last week for a few people on Patreon. Like, it was just, he kept coming up. And this guy's a bit dodgy. This is the Seven of Swords, and he is totally stealing everyone's movement, everyone's action. We need to focus on making sure that we're not getting ripped off, that we're in a good place to be able to be like, dude, stop stealing the fucking swords. Pushing forward with the Chariot, making sure we're in alignment, but being very cautious of dodgy people around us. It can be really off-putting to have someone steal from you, to steal your ideas, to steal what you've been working on so hard. But even if that happens, this is a beautiful card. I love this card. This has been coming up quite a bit for other people as well. So the Three of Wands is about looking forward and to making plans and to really focusing on one specific thing. Your one specific thing. Putting all of the rest of the stuff that we're hearing about, not making sure that it's in our space and in our energy, knowing that it exists, but pulling forward on one particular system, one particular ideal. Pushing forward in a way that is beneficial for everybody, even the people that are stealing those ideas, because when we come to the world and to the planet with new and idealized ideas, it's something that people can take away. It's people like this guy who may not have his own ideas, but you can share with them those ideas. and they can sort of take it and run with it themselves. And as we sort of move on, we can do this sort of thing where we, okay, yep, we've worked with that idea, we've pushed it forward, we're going to let other people take it. Good. That's in the cosmos, that's in the universe, that's good, that's working. There are some of us that come up with lots of ideas, lots and lots of ideas that we can't quite keep them on track. And I know specific people come to mind when I think that about, I'm going to do this, I want to do this, I'm going to move forward, I want to do this. It's just like all of those ideas, let's focus on one track. Focus on that, develop it, move it, give it to someone else after that point. Give it to somebody else that can really push forward with it. And then that gives us space to come up with something different. And we move forward with that. It's a cycle that we go through with our ideas and our thoughts. So as we're moving forward this week, don't take everything on board. Don't take on all of the energy of the planet. Don't take on all of the things of what we hear in the news and what we hear in media. We take the one thing that really resonates with us and we make sure that it aligns with what we have in mind for ourselves. And we're able to use that to push forward for a bit. If we are able to get that working and get that moving, we, instead of having people take it from us, we can give it to people. We can give people that momentum. We can give people those ideas where, the ideas are there, but we might not be able to action them ourselves. So we mold them into something given away and then moving on to something else. So by the end of the week, I reckon we'll have a good idea of the things that are not working for us, the one or two things that are working for us, and we can use that to our benefit, and then we can pass it on, that it gets into the collective somehow. Working on the Three of Wands. So this is toward the end of the week. We'll have a little bit of clarity on what that is, I think. And this isn't going to happen quickly. Nothing happens quickly. Sometimes it does happen quickly, but this doesn't feel like something that'll happen quickly. So by the end of the week, let's focus on the new ideas outside of what we have learned from the conditioning of our childhoods, of our societies, of our cultures. It's about looking beyond that. It's about looking at things that we haven't experienced yet and focusing our energy and really receiving that message for ourselves to be able to move on. There's one more card that needs to come. The Queen of Pentacles. I love her. She is my card. She has been me for a very long time. It's like her and the Empress. When she would come up for me a few years ago, for me, she was about being the very maternal, very earthly mother. I always think of Mother Earth when I think of her. And she's very nurturing and she's very loving. So this is sort of an energy I think we all need right now, is just to be very nurturing with everything around us. And not just everyone and ourselves, everything. This is beyond, this is how we care for ourselves, our loved ones, and the planet. I love this little rabbit too. There's a little rabbit in the corner. When you start looking at this, you can see lots of different little bits and pieces. I don't know if it's in focus. I think I needed glasses. It doesn't look like it's in focus. But we start to see little pieces that can trigger a memory. And we kind of feel like we need a little mum cuddle. So enjoy the mum cuddles this week that you can give yourself and that you can give everybody else around you. So this week is all about progression, I think. Especially with the Chariot coming up. So I'll go through them again. Lots of cards. Lots of cards. Hi, Steve. I don't know if you're still here. I missed you coming on. I'm like, bleh, in the world, going crazy. So, the 9 of Wands is about leaving behind the shit that we don't want in our lives, the ideas, just all the things that we were taught. We focus on our one priority this week, our one idea. We let the rest of it rest. Just let it go. That one idea, we can push forward with it. If it's the right idea and it's balanced, it'll push forward. It is all about movement with the Chariot. Right now, we're looking at these two guys. They're not moving. They need to be aligned. They need to be fed. They need to be on the same page to be able to go in a straight line. Letting people take away the things that you don't want. Just let him take it. Don't fight it. He might be better with the swords than we are. Well, just let him take it. Kia ora! The 3 of Wands is about moving forward and looking forward into something else. Beyond what we've been through. It is about looking outside of what we know and really focusing on that one point where it's like, wow, actually, that's where I belong. How do I get there? He's very specifically looking at something. He's not just looking out into the vastness. There's a specific point that we need to go to. And this is what we need to be giving ourselves this week. Is all that earthly, motherly cuddles and love. And just being there for ourselves and being grounded in how we deal with things around us. This is, there is that constant change that we go through though. There is that constant switch where we take on to one idea and we get rid of the stuff that came up before. And we move on, we move on and we constantly change and evolve. I mean, this is how humanity will evolve, is by just moving forward. So hopefully that is where we're at this week. And just remember that, a spiritual progression is really important, that we don't feel stuck within our own spirituality, that we feel like, God, I can go back 20 years and say, oh yeah, candle magic was the way to go. You had to have red as your color for love and you had to have green for abundance. And yeah, that works. That totally works. But I feel like, moved on from that now. It works for some people still, and people that are just starting out, if that's what they're drawn to, by all means, it's where I started, but I don't just rely on that system. I don't rely on the things that I've learned at church. I don't rely on, the things that I learned out from moving countries. It all evolves. You evolve as a person, so you got to let that happen. You got to let those things fall away. You got to remember to fight the battles that you want to fight. Yay. Now, if anyone has any specific questions, please put them in the comments. Yeah, I'm going to have to recharge my my little tripod thing. I turned it on and I was like, oh, it's only got one little light. So if you don't know, I use this thing. I'll show you. I use a gimbal quite often, and it's, it needs its batteries to be able to work. So yeah, I'll have to recharge that before next time. That's all good. I have some other readings that I have to do tomorrow, so I'll let it charge overnight. Anyway, if you have any questions, please do pop them in there. Yeah, I also wanted to say thank you to those of you that are on Patreon. Stoked. And so if you guys don't know, the Patreon thing, So it's patreon.com/BethVanHolst if you want to hop on. I am posting all sorts of weird little things. I had some synchronicities happen last week that I just make quick little videos and I post them up, and I like to share those. And you can share your own little bits and pieces and we can have discussions about them there. But on there I do another weekly reading just for those people that are on Patreon. You can have a monthly reading that is just specifically for you. I do those every new moon, and then I have another option that's almost like a coaching option, you know, where I'll have a face-to-face once a month and we'll talk about your progression in your own spirituality and sort of do some cards and some problem solving. So it's like a full reading once a month. So if you're really keen to sort of really move forward with that, definitely hop on. So it's Patreon, yay. Also, I've got heaps of new stuff coming in from my shop. If you're in New Zealand, because I don't want to ship overseas, sorry guys. If you're looking for specific tarot cards, anything different, I'm really keen to find some different tarot cards than what is normally available. They're quite curated, I would say. And actually, I'm really stoked because this deck, so this is the Radiant Rider-Waite. This deck I got a copy of to put on my website if you guys are keen to have this specific type of deck. And is based on the original, sort of the 20th century original deck that was done by Pamela Coleman Smith. I'm pulling up all the good cards. But this is just another version of it where the drawing is a bit nicer to look at and a bit easier to read instead of the woodcuts. A lot of people still like the old woodcut version, but yeah. So this will be on the site very soon as well. It'll be up there this week. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. This is a great deck if you do want to really get into tarot, definitely. And if you do get into tarot, it's a system to learn that really opens your mind a lot. It really opens your mind and it gives you, the thoughts that help you move along, and help you evolve. So yeah, it's a good time. Good time, great oldies, all this stuff. And I keep pulling up this one too. So this one would probably be for my friend Kim. She always gets the sun. And we are not having any sun today here in Wellington, but we did for a few days. So I am just going to enjoy the rest of this afternoon and do some writing and chill out for a while. So I hope all of you have a good rest of your weekend and a good rest of the week. Remember, looking forward, progressing spiritually, enjoy the ride. Absolutely enjoy the ride. So I will see you guys next time. I will confirm times and I will let you know sooner. So anyway, I'm sure I will see you guys soon. Questions, comments, put them in the comments. I'll get back to you. So anyway, love you all. Love you, Mom. I'll see you guys soon.